I'm Joe Reed, and this is Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm talking with Alan Minskoff this week. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Joe. And in the next 2 days, we are going to deal with travel books, and they could not be more different.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first one is The New Tourist, Waking Up to the Power and Perils of Travel, and it's by Paige McClanahan, who is, as I'm sure you and many listeners will know, is a New York Times travel writer.
That's right. And I've heard such good things about this book. So tell me, what did you think?
Okay, I'm going to say first because I'm always surprised when I like a self-narrated book because I prefer the professionals. But she's a good narrator. She has an appealing voice and she's a persuasive reader and her pace is good. And what is important in this book is that she is looking at the highs and lows of travel. And what I like most about it is she is concerned more with the how and the why of travel rather than just the where. There's some of that too. But what's fascinating is she goes to Iceland, Hawaii, spends a lot of time in Copenhagen and Amsterdam and Barcelona. And she talks about Barcelona and Amsterdam, for example, are fraught places for travel because the locals have found that the cities they love have been sort of overwhelmed by tourism. And what I like about this audiobook is that she does very good work historically, but she's very good on the contemporary stuff. Barcelona and Amsterdam are exceptionally important, and Amsterdam has stopped building new hotels. Barcelona, their locals are, feel, I think, and rightly so, that tourism is a mixed blessing.
Yeah, I understand that. So what does she suggest?
Well, what I like about her suggestions is she wants you to be kind of a mindful traveler. She has a wonderful piece toward the end about Hawaii and how tourists had not paid attention to wildlife, especially turtles. She has a piece where she's with her daughter, and her daughter looks at her and says, "Mom, we got to be careful. They have warned us where we can and cannot step." So she's a very proactive kind of a writer. It's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
She does a long interview with the wife of the prime minister of Iceland. And, Iceland went from a place that nobody knew much about to one of the most visited places in the world. And so they have both benefited and also have some concern about tourism. And so she is very fair. As somebody who teaches journalism, I was very impressed at how much research she's done, how many hours of interviews, because tourism is one of those things where you have to talk to people. This is not where you can dip into the Civil War. This is where it is happening
Yeah.
right this minute.
So let's hear an excerpt. What are we going to hear?
We are going to hear her kind of the raison d'etre.
Okay, this is The New Tourist, Waking Up to the Power and Perils of Travel. It's written and read by Paige McClanahan.
So begins the story of Lonely Planet, the most powerful travel brand of the 20th century, a company that would influence the movements and experiences of tens of millions of travelers, while also shaping the fate of countless businesses and, in some cases, entire communities. But the 5.5-month overland journey that led to the company's founding was hardly unprecedented. In many ways, those newlyweds, Tony and Maureen Wheeler, were typical young baby boomers. They were eager to see the world, and they wanted to do so in a way that had been both unthinkable and, in many cases, physically impossible for their parents.
Don't we love the Lonely Planet guidebooks?
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to mention that. The Wheelers' story is a phenomenal story. I mean, they really just wanted to go traveling. They were sort of hippies and they created an empire. And whether there are questions or not about guidebooks themselves, their meaning and how they affect us, they did a remarkable thing at an interesting time. And she does a very good sort of profile of the pair of them and how that got started and how the Lonely Planet guidebooks became dominant.
I also think the quality of her voice is lovely.
It truly is. I think I wrote,
Yeah.
I said she has an appealing voice. She really does.
Yeah. Okay, that is The New Tourist. It's written and read by Paige McClanahan. Thank you so much, Alan. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And I look forward to it.
Today's sponsor of Behind the Mic is Hachette Audio, the publisher of Connie, a witty memoir about legendary journalist Connie Chung's experience as the first Asian woman to break into the overwhelmingly white, male-dominated news industry. Read by Connie Chung herself. I'm Joe Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.